Who will beat every current WWE champion? I'm Will, that's Brandon. We are the cousins of Destruction Wrestling Podcast. As always, us cheers talk about some wrestling, huh?
Yeah, we were sitting there thinking about video ideas because somebody is going to Germany. Well, there's a lot that's going to be happening between now and when you get back. So what better way than just kind of throw some of these ideas out there, see if they stick. Some might not even happen by then. So.
Yeah, as we were, coming up with this idea, and, we're not special or anything, but Santi put out his video like 20 minutes ago. So sorry about that, but we were planning on it, so whatever. But like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Let's get right to it. Let's start with the Tag Team Championship. Let's start with the Women's Tag Team Championship, to be specific. This one might be a little tough. We are getting a four-way at Evolution. We don't know who's in it yet. Wink, wink, if you haven't seen the spoilers for SmackDown yet. Who will dethrone Roxanne and Raquel for the Women's Tag Team Champions?
Yeah, and so we haven't really seen any spoilers as of yet, or at least I haven't.
I have.
Well, I've seen one, and it is not a woman's tag. So here we go. I don't think that person could be in this match anyway. I'm going with a fun one. We talk about Raquel and Roxanne kind of needing to kind of defend those tag titles again and again and again, and they really kind of need to build that bond. I mean, Judgment Day right now, you've got Finn and JD with titles, you've got Dom with a title, and you've got them with the women's tag titles. So all the Golden Judgment Day, I really like that idea. I really like Judgment Day growing strong and being a really great bond while Liv Morgan is out. So for me, this is way down the road when they lose these. And I think Liv Morgan maybe plays a part in it. I've got a fun tag team. I've got the tag team that our friend Khan really loves. I've got the Dungeon Dolls.
Oh, my Lord.
I think by then, we're going to have some fun, and it's going to be just a feel-good moment sort of thing. Nothing really serious. I mean, at the end of the day, WWE doesn't really care about the women's tag team division, and we always throw these amazing teams out there, right? We throw about like the Kabuki Warriors or even the Secret Harvest, right? You throw these amazing tag teams in there. Well, then they don't really do anything with it. Why not give Maxine her first title?
You know what? If Maxine and Natalya, if they get over again to the point where that can be a possibility, you know what? All to them. I love Maxine, so I'm never going to do bad things to her. And then, of course, Natalya, she is respected by a lot of people, and she's been doing a lot of good work away from the WWE lately. So if they were to
carry that,
if they were to have her come back and use that character, I'd be down with it. I have the team of Zaruka. I want them to do it, and I wouldn't even mind them doing it at Evolution if that's the team that's going to get there, I guess. And the reason being, I don't think that the main roster has any idea what to do with these belts. A lot of people are going to immediately say Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair whenever that tag team gets going. My argument is, we do that every time with the women's tag team titles. We pair two superstars together, they win the belts, and then nothing happens. Why do that again? Let's put those belts on people that can go back to NXT and defend against a lot of up-and-comers who can just build new teams that way. And then they also have the right now to come to SmackDown and Raw, defend. Now they're on the main roster too, so I think it'd be a win-win-win situation for everybody.
Yeah, exactly. That's a great pick. A little bit of friendly fire this week involving Zaruka on NXT, but it is what it is. I think they are going to. I mean, they should be through it. They should be the favorite for the NXT tag team for that Evolution match. I just think it happens, far down the line.
Let's continue on Raw though. Monday Night Raw came and Finn got a win, baby. Not only did Finn get a win, he looked great in his win. He kicked out of everything. He was unstoppable, Finn Balor. But it's him and JD McDonough. They are the tag team champions, brand new. But down the line, who's going to take it from them?
Yeah, down the line, I think is really important. I think down the line, past the draft that we've kind of hinted at, right? I don't think the team that dethrones them or takes the title, beats them, I don't think that team's on Raw right now.
Nope.
I think that team is on SmackDown.
Yep.
And I think that team gets drafted over. I've got Fraxium being that team. I think Fraxium and them could have a great back and forth. You could have them drop them. You can have them win them. You can have them a nice tag team feud that we've been clamoring for. When Fraxium came up from NXT, they really got shot to the moon on SmackDown. And then ever since then, there's so much jumbling in the SmackDown tag division that they've kind of gotten lost a little bit. So I want to see them kind of reestablish themselves, and I'd just love a match between Fraxium, JD, and Finn.
I literally put this on my thing. No one on Raw. No one on Raw. Hopefully they're carrying these things for a while, and with the Liv injury, it seems like that's only the route that they can go, because it felt like the Finn stuff was only going to arise if Liv was part of the storyline. So we're looking at somewhere past SummerSlam, in my opinion, and hopefully when they announce that draft, we get teams over here. I went ahead and just penciled in DIY. I wouldn't mind them getting over to Raw. I feel like they would add some much needed character to the division. Those matches with Ciampa Gargano facing Finn and JD would be absolutely insane in-ring quality-wise. And WWE has proven that they love giving DIY the titles and just letting them have little spurts here and there. What better way to do it than to draft them over to Raw, refresh the tag division there, beat Finn and JD, and get a little rivalry going there?
Yeah, I think the key answer is there's multiple answers you can give to this. And the correct answers are nobody on Raw.
Nobody on Raw.
So as long as you have a current SmackDown tag team, I think you're in a good spot.
Yeah, just not the War Raiders. Not the War Raiders, man.
War.
No offense. War. But no. Let's move it on to the SmackDown tag division. There was a big match last week on SmackDown. It was Street Profits, Wyatt Six. Ended in there's not even a word for it. That's what it ended in. Street Profits, we love them. Who's going to end up dethroning them for those tag titles?
Yeah, I think a word you could give is shenanigans. You could give malarkey.
I don't even know.
Or malarkey or baloney. Any of those three.
You're gonna utilize your catchphrase on that match?
Because it was blasphemous.
Yeah, at a fourth.
It's just terrible. Yeah, I think Street Profits here. I think it is going to be the Wyatts. I think that they're kind of really pushing them. And even though that match ended just really weird, and what is the motive for the Wyatts? I don't really know. Nobody really knows, right? They're kind of there to take what's theirs, but now you got this weird jumbled mess of the SmackDown tag division that we love. But there's kind of really no clear-cut favorite except maybe the Wyatts. With you picking DIY kind of going over to Raw, I'm picking Frack's team to go to Raw. There's going to be some jumbling there. I think the Wyatts are there to stay on SmackDown on Friday nights and just kind of continue to cause terror. So I've got the Wyatts.
I think the easy answer is the Wyatts. I went with my own personal answer on this one. Not something with my brain, but with my heart. Man, give it to Andrade and Rey Fenix. Last week on SmackDown, that match was 10 out of 10. 5 stars. Loved every second of it. Andrade has been given nothing in this division or on SmackDown since his return. Rey Fenix has honestly been underutilized, only getting a WrestleMania match because Chad Gable got injured. Man, screw it. Give them the titles. Street Profits versus them. 5-star banger matches for sure. And me personally, I don't care about the Wyatt Six motivation. I'm kind of out on them as a whole. So that's what I want to see. Andrade and Rey Fenix, baby.
Yeah, I mean, you say you're out on the motivation. I'm not sitting here saying I'm bought in by any means. But that Andrade Rey Fenix, you came away from that match being like, yeah, that was fun.
Yeah.
That was awesome. Give me more of that. So yeah, I wouldn't be upset if that was the case.
Those are all of our tag teams. So let us know in the comments, like and subscribe, and also let us know what you think you want to see in the tag division. Let's move it on to the Intercontinental titles. Let's start with our boy, Dirty Dom, Intercontinental Champion right now. Looks like AJ Styles is on his way to that belt. Who's going to be the one that ends up dethroning him?
Yeah, I don't think it's AJ Styles. I think Dom has a defense or 2 or maybe 3. You know, who knows at this point. I went with Penta. And I feel like Penta's maybe the easy answer here. I feel like Penta was getting really pushed there, obviously, when he first started. And then there's kind of been some weird, like you're involved in the Sami Zayn, Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed, just jumbled mess that we're all kind of like, what's kind of going on? But Penta kind of deserves a singles title, in my opinion. Plus, WWE did just sign Octagon, right? Or at least those are the rumors. So you could have Penta and Octagon kind of go at it maybe for that IC title. I know you may say, why would you jump him up already? Well, they've already put Octagon in an IC title match, so why not just do something like that? I think that would be really cool if that's how you're going to try to incorporate that maybe. So yeah, go ahead and give me Penta here.
You gave us one luchador, and I'll raise you the greatest luchador to ever strap him up. I have El Grande Americano winning this title down the line, past SummerSlam. Let's give it some time here, but he did show up on Raw this week. He had a good 4 or 5 inch growth spurt since the last time we saw him. I think we're going to get a few good weeks or months even of this new El Grande being able to competently lead American Made and all of them around the Raw division. And I think we're going to circle it all the way around to where he's got his eyes on Dom, and he's going to lead that American Made by winning the Intercontinental Championship, something Chad Gable could not end up doing.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great, fantastic answer. So, I mean, I'm not going to sit here and I'm not going to sit here and be upset at all at that. So, yeah, give me that. But the thing I'm finding out about most of these picks so far is you've got a couple ways to go, and honestly, both of them have been great.
Yeah, we've done a couple of these videos before, and it seems like we have the same answers every time. We've had different answers on every one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty cool. Nice. So moving over to the women's Intercontinental title, Becky Lynch. She is getting targeted by Bayley and Lyra Valkyria, but the question is, who is going to be the one to take the title off of her?
Yeah, I think this one might be a little bit different here. I think we might have our first, or I guess the same. We might have our first same agreements here. Maybe not, though. A lot of pressure. I went ahead. I said Bayley. I think Bayley's the one that takes it off Becky. I think you elevate Becky into kind of that main event scene, kind of like that upper mid card. I always compare it to like Chris Jericho back in the day. That's just what my mind goes to. Just put her in that. And then I think you really have to run Lyra and Bayley just head to head. Now you might say Lyra takes the title off and you run Lyra and Bayley. I don't care. That's the feud I really want to see. Becky's done a great job elevating the title. She's taking its kind of new heights, made Lyra really kind of important. You've got Bayley inserted in there as well. So go ahead, give me Bayley taking it off her and then go on after Lyra again.
Heel Becky has done her job. Absolutely. She has built that belt. It's now established. It's now fought after. It's great. The real story around that belt is Bayley versus Lyra Valkyria. We need to get it off of Becky, and I think it's going to be as soon as Evolution, whenever this triple threat match gets announced. And I'm with you. I think it's Bayley. And I think Lyra Valkyria gets that thing back at SummerSlam, but I do think Bayley takes the belt off Becky. She wins that triple threat. Then we roll that. We parlay that into SummerSlam, Bayley versus Lyra Valkyria, and that's where we end that storyline. So I have Bayley as well.
Mm-hmm. Look at that. First agreeance here.
First agreeance right after I pointed it out. Ruin everything.
Yeah, well, I feel like a lot of these choices maybe down the line are going to kind of be the same. So
Giulia on SmackDown last week, she went ahead and beat the greatest United States. I can't even say it as a joke. She beat Zelina Vega for the United States Championship. Giulia, U.S. title. Who's going to be the one that ends up ripping it off her down the line?
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like this one we might have a similar answer as well. Maybe not. I have Jordynne Grace on this one. The rumor was obviously she is supposed to come up to SmackDown. Her versus Giulia. You could give that to me every day of the week, multiple times. I don't really care. That sounds amazing. That sounds awesome. Give me an important feud here. Have Jordynne Grace lose at Evolution and just have her kind of come up, like the report said, forever ago, right? So go ahead and give me Jordynne Grace.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and say Jordynne Grace. That's probably the right answer, and I'm looking forward to whenever that happens in terms of her getting the full call-up because Steph got the full call-up, but Jordan hasn't really. So I'm looking forward to that. I also kind of played around with it in my head of maybe a Nia Jax. I think you kind of need... It's proven that like what Becky did for the Intercontinental Championship was the right decision. So you could have a Nia Jax, somebody who's extremely established in the WWE, come down, win that belt from Giulia real quick. And then we just get basically what we got with Becky and Lyra, and we try to build the belt up that way with somebody who already has some stock and foundation here, and then you get some backing behind the belt. But I would personally rather it be Jordynne Grace, so I'm going to go with Jordynne Grace.
Yeah, there's a couple choices there on SmackDown right now. Nia Jax is kind of like the clear favorite. Yeah. If it's not Nia Jax or Jordynne Grace, I don't really know where you would go outside of those two.
No Chelsea Green. She'd be the first ever 2-time longest reigning.
Yeah. I just... she's enjoying life right now.
She is.
Yeah.
This one, a Night of Champions. Solo Sikoa shocked the world. And Tala Tonga. Can't believe they named him that. Tala Tonga helped him win the U.S. Championship. Solo Sikoa.
And
U.S.
Tongaloa.
Tongaloa, my bad.
Come on.
I'm sorry about that.
Come on.
Solo Sikoa, U.S. title. Who's going to be the one that takes it off him?
Yeah, I think the easy answer is Jacob Fatu. But I didn't go with the easy answer on this one. I went down the line. You threw this idea out for me. And once you threw the idea out, I said, you know what? I really like this idea. The Bloodline 2.5, 3.0, Bloodline 3D. I don't really care what you call them, right? You put on some glasses and you see them come down the ramp in some 3D. Versus Jacob Fatu and maybe Jimmy J or Jimmy and Tama Tonga. That's eventually going to be the match, right? I assume Jay's not in this, but those three. So I think you have Jacob Fatu cost Solo Sikoa, kind of like you were mentioning, right? And I think that's kind of the way you do it. Well, I've been saying that this person needs a title of some sort because he's got the backing of everybody in the world. So I got R-Truth, Ron Killings. I've got him doing that. I've got him taking that U.S. title, and then I have him feuding with Aleister Black. Then maybe you could do Aleister Black, Damian Priest down the line whenever Damian Priest gets healthy. You've also got Carmelo Hayes kind of sprinkled in there. But I'm going R-Truth on this one, maybe a little bit of the heart, but it just kind of makes sense.
Yeah, I'm actually with you. I had the exact same thing. I had R-Truth. He's going to win this title, and I'm with you. I do think that Jacob Fatu and Solo Sikoa don't need a championship for this to continue. There's freaking 100 new Bloodline 8.0 members that are running around. They need to do that without the title involved in it. So I do think some way, somehow, Solo has a title match against R-Truth or Damian Priest or an Aleister Black, and Jacob Fatu costs that man. You get the belt to that mid-card with the Damian Priest and R-Truth of the world. You let them establish that belt or fight over that belt, and then you just push Jacob Fatu and Solo Sikoa away and have their own bloodline drama thing happen to the side. I think that's a smart thing to do here.
Mm-hmm. Look at that.
I know. We're cooking.
As soon as you said something, now we're just agreeing back to back. I don't like it.
It's got to be our truth, though.
I hope so. I hope so.
Women's, we'll go with the World Championships first. We'll go with the World and the World Heavyweight Champions. So Evolution, we have one match announced. One full match announced, right? No, 2 full matches, but 1 championship match announced. Iyo Sky, World Champion. Who is she losing that belt to?
Well, technically you have Jordan Grace and JC.
It's not for the championship, though.
But, yeah, it is. I'm pretty sure it is.
Is it?
For the NXT championship.
Oh, you're right.
But, I mean, we just said Jordan Grace is going to come up to the main roster, so that kind of spoils our thing there, right? So you said go ahead and Iyo Sky versus Rhea Ripley, right? Is basically kind of what you think, or Iyo Sky, who takes that title off her. I do think it is Rhea Ripley, but I don't think it's at Evolution.
Oh,
I have it further down the line. Maybe a SummerSlam if you want to run it back, but if you got the fatigue and you don't want to do it at SummerSlam, like for me personally, I don't want to do that at SummerSlam because we would have just seen it at Evolution 2 weeks prior. So I got the crown jewel Perth, Rhea Ripley, home country, right? I have her challenging Iyo Sky. I have her taking the title off Iyo Sky, finally overcoming the hurdle that is Iyo Sky, and I've got Rhea Ripley winning the title there.
Rhea Ripley is going to be the one that ends up taking it off Iyo Sky. I kind of like that idea of waiting till Perth to do it. Maybe you can have Rhea lose at Evolution one way, shape, or form, and then we run maybe an Asuka match, and then you get some successful defenses under the belt of Iyo, because this will be her first title defense at Evolution, which would feel like it would, that would suck if she ends up losing her very first title defense since WrestleMania at SummerSlam, or Evolution. That sucks. So I am kind of with you. I don't know when it'll be. I would not be surprised if she just loses at Evolution. It would suck. But that sounds great. I'd be down for a Perth loss to Rhea Ripley down the line.
Yeah, I think that just kind of makes sense to me at least. And then you have maybe Iyo and Asuka at SummerSlam, and then you have Steph, Iyo at Clash in Paris, right? That's how I would do the couple of months here. And then you just run it back again, and you have Rhea take that title off there.
I agree. Gunther. Gunther, World Heavyweight Champion. Who's going to be the one that ends up beating him for his title?
Yeah, I would like to say Ludwig Kaiser, but we haven't seen Ludwig Kaiser in anything meaningful in forever. So eventually, maybe down the line. Ilya Dragunov is another name that pops up, right? Just because I want to see that match. But I'm going with the easy answer here. I'm going with Seth Rollins on this one. I think there's the custom briefcase to me. Everybody gets a custom briefcase, right? You have the briefcase for a while. It doesn't have to be this month or next month or even the month after. It can be further down the line. I initially thought maybe they'd run Gunther Seth at SummerSlam. I'm kind of backing off that a little bit, but I do have Seth Rollins taking that off Gunther a little bit farther down the line, though.
I have a little bit of that same thing. I have us getting a Punk and Gunther match at SummerSlam, and I have CM Punk winning the belt from Gunther at SummerSlam. But then real quickly, I have Seth Rollins coming in and cashing in the Money in the Bank and ripping it away from CM Punk, therefore completing his 2 greatest goals of keeping the belt away from CM Punk and getting the gold back in his own hands. I think that would be a phenomenal way to end a night 1 of SummerSlam, the first ever night 1 of 2 for SummerSlam. So technically I have CM Punk taking the belt off Gunther, but really it's going to be Seth Rollins walking away at the end of the night.
That just raises more questions, though. What does Roman Reigns do at SummerSlam for you?
Poses.
Yes.
I don't know.
I think it's important to note, I do have Seth Rollins walking into WrestleMania in my head. Seth Rollins,
WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Oh, Seth Rollins all the way, the belt.
All the way down the line.
I
have Seth Rollins walking in. I have him facing Sami Zayn right now, top of my head.
Sorry.
Hey, I'm just saying.
I don't want it. I don't want it.
Well, I didn't say I wanted it. I just said I think that's what's going to happen.
And it's time to end that Sami Zayn conversation, and now it's Tiffy time. Tiffany Stratton, WWE champion. Who's going to be the one that takes the title off Tiff?
Yeah, I think it's also important to note, like, people might say, oh, there's failed cash in for the men, right? Well, it's Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins is Triple H's guy, right? Like, he ain't going to fail cash in. I don't think so. And I think it's important here. People might say, what about a failed cash in for the women? Well, you don't do that here with Naomi. Naomi's doing some great work. Naomi is my pick. I really hyped up the idea of the cash in at Evolution. I'm going to kind of continue to run with that idea, even though you might say SummerSlam is where you get the cash in. I think it's either Evolution or SummerSlam. I hope Evolution. But I got to go Naomi. Again, simple pick. But sometimes the simple pick, the easy pick is the right choice. So I'm just going to keep rolling with that.
It has to be Naomi. It has to be Naomi. It has to be Naomi. I personally want it to work where Naomi cashes in on Tiff at Evolution, gets that belt. Tiffany does get her rematch, so we make it a triple threat match at the least. And then I want Bianca inserted into this, and we get some crazy multi-men with Bianca, Jade, Tiff, and Naomi at SummerSlam. Triple H loves his multi-man matches, so I don't think it's out of the realm. And I think that we need to eventually put Bianca in the ring with Naomi and Jade and make this storyline really feel full-rounded. So Naomi's going to be to take the belt off Tiffany. She deserves it. That's 100% what should happen.
Yeah. I don't really see any other options or any other great choices. I mean, maybe. I mean, if it's not Naomi, it's Jade. You get Jade and Jade wins it. And then that same thing you were talking about, the Rollins cash in.
Yeah.
You do that where Jade wins it and then Naomi takes it right off of Jade.
Yeah. SummerSlam at the latest. At the very latest. But and to think about that, actually, like, I feel like it's going to be Evolution because they didn't even give her like a custom briefcase. Like that. I don't even think it was, she wasn't going to carry it around for enough time for them to go through the effort of customizing.
Which is why that Seth Rollins briefcase, man, makes me really think it's going to be further down the road.
They're selling that thing for like $150.
Yeah. Too much.
Last real champion, the never seen 17, the greatest of all time, gracing us with 5 final months here in the WWE, Mr. John Cena. Who's going to be the one to dethrone him for that title?
Yeah, we had a lot of disagreeing here, and we had some agreeances, right? Well, this one's kind of the easiest answer of them all. You save, I guess, the easiest one for last, right? It's Cody Rhodes. I don't care who else challenges John. I don't care when they challenge John. Cody Rhodes is going to take that title off John at SummerSlam. It's really kind of open and shut case at that point. You did a great video on John's run and how Cody can kind of be a tweener / heel and he can turn John back to the face stuff. Once you put that out, once you said that stuff, I was like, yeah, sign me up. I'd already thought about it a little bit anyway, but you kind of just affirmed and confirmed everything in my head. And I said, yeah, it's going to be Cody Rhodes. And I think you eventually have Cody Rhodes. He's going to be another long title reign. I think Cody's going to end up carrying that to WrestleMania.
Yep, my theory before Night of Champions was kind of solidified in my head at Night of Champions when John Cena almost turned face and Cody Rhodes was doing some heel tactics. So I think we go into SummerSlam with Cody Rhodes beating John Cena, but leaning more into the heel side after that, getting the face turn from John Cena. So the huge moment at night 2 main event of SummerSlam this year is going to be the double turn, in my opinion. I think Cody goes heel, Cena goes face, and John Cena loses that 17th-time world championship to the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes.
So, I mean, if we're in agreement there, then we're got to be in agreement of Cody at WrestleMania, right?
Yeah.
Versus
CM Punk.
There it is.
100%. Get Sami Zayn out of the match and we'll be good.
I mean,
replace him. Take Sami Zayn out.
Sami Zayn is winning the Rumble.
Braun Breaker.
Sami Zayn is winning the Rumble.
Braun Breaker. Do the Batista thing. Batista, Triple H, just do it again with Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker.
Yeah, Roman Reigns still somehow going to play a part in the equation, but I don't have an answer for that.
He gonna show up.
He's gonna do something,
No Roman Reigns on this list.
No,
we don't think he's getting a title anytime soon, huh?
No, I mean, you have Seth Rollins, right? He could go after Seth Rollins, obviously, for obvious reasons. Just stole the wise man, right? I think it is also like worthy to note that he might end up feuding with CM Punk a little bit when he comes back because CM Punk was the one that put the doubt in Paul Heyman's head. Maybe Roman's like, hey, he was solidified with me. He was my wise man. We were together. We were like this, right? And then you end up having the doubts creep in Paul's head that CM Punk puts there. So maybe that's something that they decide to do.
They're already working on a plan B, bro. Already working on a plan B.
Yep.
Anyway, those are all the people who we think are going to beat the current WWE champions down the road. Let us know in the comments what you guys think, because this is a great conversation. We want to hear all the opinions. We were so different. Let's hear what you guys got. And then for everything else, make sure to check out live streams that Brandon will be putting on without me over the next couple weeks because I will be in Germany. That will be on youtube.com/COD WrestlePod, Raw, SmackDowns, and PLEs like Saturday Night Main Event and Evolution. So make sure to support him. And then he will also be carrying the load over the next 2 weeks with everything else that you can find at COD WrestlePod, COD WrestlePod. We have a link tree in our bio. It's got everything there, all of our socials. Go ahead and follow that. We even have a reactions channel now where you can check out all of our live reactions to everything Raw, SmackDown, and PLEs. We're confident you'll enjoy the stuff, whatever you want to say.
Content. There we go.
Anyway, I'm Will. That's Brandon. We're the Cousins of Destruction Wrestling Podcast, and we will see you next time.